So today we're going to um, use Autocad 2024 for designing a simple yet elegant glass top table with a galvanized tube steel for its feet or the base of our table. So for the objectives of this video is that we can create our own design using the Autocad 2024 program. So let's begin. So first, let us open the program, and then on the upper left corner is you click the new. So let's remove this first, and as you can see, it is a blank slate with a top view. So this is your drawing area. Now I want my table to be a 43 inches long and 23 inches wide. So first command that we'll be using is the line command. So I wanted to we want it to be 43 inches wide. So as you can see, it is flimsy and possibly I cannot draw a straight line. So what we are going to do is we click the F8 button on our keyboard, just like that, so that it will ortho on, and we're going to type a 43 46 inches by 23. So as you can see, like, oh my god, it's so small. Don't worry, just zoom it, just like that, right? And then 43, another 46, and another 23. So just like that, we have created a rectangle. Then what we are going to do is we're going to copy it so that we have multiple copies of this rectangle. So for that, I will explain to that later, but for now, let us proceed. So in this third corner, we're going to join it. Why? Because we are going to offset this line. So we're going to offset it by 5 inches. So that means that it is 5 inches apart from here. So as we measure it, as you can see, it's 5. Also here. Yan. So that is 5. So 5, 5, 5 each corner. And so if you're gonna ask, why do we need to join it first before we're going to offset? So I will show it to you here on the other one here in the middle. So type offset command and enter. So as you can see, it is being offsetted but individually. So we don't want that to happen. So it causes a lot of time to offset, and to trim TR space, double space. So as you can see, offsetting it with a joint line is much efficient. Okay, now let us proceed. So after we have created the base, so this is the base. This is the footing of our table. We're going to copy it again here on the side. But instead of keeping it on a single polyline, we are going to explode it. Why? I will explain to you later. Mm. Then we're going to move this into the center, just like that, and we're going to delete it. Why? Because this will be the structure for the middle. Okay. And now I wanted to create the feet. So in this process, we're going to click the line again, and we are going to point it upward to the z-axis. So the z-axis is the height. So the standard height for tables that is being used and being taught here in our university is 28 inches. So we use the inches unit for this furniture making. So again, this is the height of the table, and this is the tabletop, which is the glass material. Okay, now let's proceed into making the galvanized tube. So the galvanized steel tube is um one by one. So it is 1 inches by 1 inches. Right. So now let us project it on the top view. So we're going to fillet the radius of our material. So we type the fillet command, enter, then we're going to input the radius with which is point 1. Enter. Now we click the corners. So as you can see, it is transforming into a curved surface. And now we are going to join it so that we can offset it again. Offset, offset, offset it again to 0.05. So this will be the hollow part of the steel, so the galvanized steel tubing. And as you can see, when we put it here to the southwest isometric view, you can see that it is already been into a straight up position. So to make this into a real tube, we're going to copy it first so that we have a multiple copies of the same variants. And now what we're going to do, another command is the sweep command. So the sweep command enables us to create a continuous shape using the lines or the image, just the line that we created. Enter. Then we select the drawings that we made earlier. Enter. Then we click the line that we want the object to sweep in. So as you can see, it is transformed into a rectangular continuous shape, a 3D object. And now we want to um, create it into a tube. But first, we need to look at what is inside. So as you can see, it is not yet hollow. Even if we remove this part, we move it outside, enter. Yan, it is not yet hollow. Okay. How to fix this is we're going to use another command, which is the subtract. We're going to subtract the solids object. So let's go back to the VS. So the next command that we will be using is the materials. Enter. So as you can see here, there are kinds of materials that we can use so that when we render our object or the 3D object or our furniture, it has a hint of materials to be so that we can able to distinct it from the design. So first we're going to click glass. So okay, now you can see it here, but again, the material I put is luminous. So for just to be able to see the render, so you can choose your materials here freely if you want. And I think that wraps up to our video tutorial. Thank you for watching and my buntag. The object, select the object, enter, then select the line. Another one, sweep command, then select the line, enter, sweep command, then select the line. So now as you can see, it is not yet a solid hollow tubing, but a 3D one, a solid object. So now what we're going to do is we're going to subtract again ano, the same process we did earlier. So we click the outer layer first, enter, inner layer, enter, then again with this one, outer, inner, last one, outer, then inner. So when we go to the VS Shades of Gray, when we look at the inside, it is already been hollowed, right? And now the next part is we are going to move it upwards by 8 inches. So as you can see, it is elevated and raised by 8 inches except this one. So we're going to move it again into 8 inches. Then we're finished with the legs of the table. And the next step that we're going to make is the tabletop, the glass tabletop. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this also. This one. and then we are going to fillet it so that the corners of our table is not too sharp. So we want our tables to be rounded in the sharp edges or the sharp corners to prevent cuts or accidents. So it has already been fillet, and then again we're going to join it. Type the join command, press enter, then it is a single polyline. And now we are going to use the extrude command. So the extrude command is from the word itself going to extrude from a flat 2D drawing or 2D line into a solid object. So pick the southwest isometric view, then extrude. Enter. So as you can see, you can pull it downwards, pull it upwards, and there is a number in the middle. There's a bar there. And what we're going to do is we're going to type zero point 0.3. So I want the glass to be 0.3 inches, 0.3 inches in thickness. Right, then we're going back to the VS2 current. Then we move it by clicking the midpoint to the midpoint of here. So the next step is we are going to move it upwards by 28 inches. So that's the table, that's the table height of its feet. So as you can see here, it is sitting on top of it. Okay, now the next step is we are going to the VS current and go to the realistic option. So I want it to be a glass top and a galvanized steel material. So as you can see, it is a plain gray color.